farmers, and welcome back to East Vineland. Gotta take care of the sheep's milk, and I cannot leave the trailer parked here because it was blocking the spawning area of about maybe 4 or 5 pallets. So I got a lot of warnings when I woke up this morning that there was no more room for sheep's milk. Of course there wasn't, because I'm hogging the area. Now I just need to get this out of here, I suppose. Don't leave that parked there anymore. And we'll actually bring it on down to the farmyard and park it on up there. So as you saw at the beginning of the episode, we have mowed the big grass field and baled it. And then I then went around and grabbed the straw bales, put those into the bale shed, or the bale barn. And now I need to go over there and put our other silage bales that have been fermenting for a couple months away, so I can pick up the other silage bales, get them off the grass field so I can work into it, get it fertilized and all that good stuff. Today though, we do have the wheat field that needs to be harvested. Well, it doesn't need to be harvested today, but we're going to get that up and running so I can bring the wheat down to the grain mill and start making some flour. Oh yeah, and also you probably saw I went on down with the T8 to the grain mill and I grabbed a lot of cracked corn, brought that back, top off the chickens, and put the cracked corn in here. I still got cracked corn down there. I have a lot more cracked corn than I thought I did, and I had barley down there also, and we're making that into flour currently as well. Let's jump on down to the John Deere. That should be all set. So before we pick up those bales, let me back on up here. Let's reset the trailer, put it in the operating position, and all these bales, I better double check, but they should be fermented by now. When I checked yesterday when I was mowing, yesterday in game, they're at 97%, and they all seem to be. That one's still fermenting. Ooh, okay, so don't grab that. Why is that one still fermenting? I got some odd ones here, apparently. So don't grab those. All these appear to say silage on them. Alright, I mean, if worse comes to worse, if I happen to grab a bale and put it into the storage, it'll show up as grass. I can just take it back out, I'll have to wrap it, and then let it ferment. But let's not grab those. I'm trying to figure out why I got a couple that are still fermenting. Oh well. Grab all those. It should be a full trailer. Don't go off the edge there. So we're up to 157,000, which is great. We're working our way to be able to buy the big sugar beet field down in the southeastern corner of the map. And luckily these can teleport through the wall. Put those on down and eventually, give it a second. Okay, so those are too far back, apparently. We'll scooch them on over a little bit and grab them all, please. So right now we just got silage and straw in there. Okay, so everything's looking good there. Of course, this field in front of us needs to be taken care of. Like I said, I'm going to keep playing as if I'm going to be here for many more years, even though, as we know, the end of the series is coming probably when next March rolls around. We'll just sell all the products and be done with it. I don't want to say be done with it. It's like it's a bad thing, but you know what I'm saying? Where the end comes. And this time I'll pull forward a little bit further. Don't want to hit that button, which I did. I want to hit this button and that button. And then drop them on down and they'll load on in. This is a nice bale barn. I originally thought 4 million liters was going to be a lot. But as we know, we get much more than that from off our farm during a year. So we got to stockpile some stuff outside. But at least it makes it a little bit cleaner by having the barn there. And I can store so many liters in there. So these are what we got yesterday. So I got to get these out the field here so I can go ahead and fertilize it. I'm not going to bother with the little bit of grass that's here. We can get it after we cut it one more time in October. It should be that we get to mow this grass. So then we'll windrow it up. I'd probably get like another bale out of it if I were to do it. I did have a couple of times where I just remembered when I was mowing the grass, like, yeah, you kind of I haven't still upgraded the motor in the big Chrome M yet. I would like to see a bigger engine for that mod, because on Hinterland I do have the upgraded engine in that mod, and I still struggle once in a while with the baler to get up to 10 miles an hour, which is the working speed of the baler. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant to upgrade the engine here. I get the job done, and it does struggle a couple times, but overall it's not that bad. And I keep thinking about Hinterland. It's like, well, if I upgrade it, I'm still going to have some issues here and there to where I'm only going to be able to do like 5-6 miles an hour. I'll grab one more. We'll go drop these off over here. And then we'll grab our combine. The 710 has got the header on it. And the John Deere will grab the baler. We'll do the same thing in that wheat field as we did here, where the John Deere is following the combine and baling on up. But we'll be using the Mack truck to transport the grain around. I haven't checked on the pigs yet to see. Yeah, I gotta go down the cliff here because I can't turn right away because the back of the trailer will hit the bales and they'll just go everywhere. But we need to check on the pigs to see if we got any pigs that are worth selling today. Bring a little more cash in. But let me go get these bales picked up, and we'll have a look at some stats around the farm, and then get to work on harvesting some wheat. Had to make sure I went up to the other field by the sheep and got those bales also. And I think what I'm going to do is grab the other stack that was mostly fermented and try to add it to this stack, and that way it looks a little bit cleaner. Can I get all these into one? Oh yeah, we can. Let's go ahead and turn off the autoloader. And then just go ahead and stack those right here. Let's try that again. Because lately I've been hitting a lot of wrong keys. There we go. So the bales are stacked up nicely. Yeah, I'll probably have to take the straw bales out of here eventually. I'd rather have the silage bales in there. Well, technically, in real life, you probably leave the silage bales outside and put the straw bales inside. But yeah, whatever. Let's drop off that trailer there. And let's go ahead and put the big M away. This thing is filthy. But I will be using it, of course, one more time this year. Got one more cut in both fields. Well, actually, the grass field up by the sheep, that'll be ready next month. So I got to cut that field probably twice this year. Having my grass fields out of sequence is not good for me anyways. Close that door on up. So yeah, the pigs is actually what I should be checking on next before we actually get to work. Let's have overall look at our animals. They should be all pretty darn good right there. Yeah, they're good. The chicken should be fine for a long time. And the pigs, yeah, they're going through that food pretty darn well. We actually got a couple of groups that are worth 1,000, which is good. But I would like to get them up to 1,200 apiece. So maybe wait another month and hope for it. Yeah, we'll just keep buying the pig food. That's fine. Well, I mean, money-wise, we're doing fine. Although, like I said, I would like to be able to buy that field down the southeast corner. I wonder actually who owns it today, because I'd like to see what it would be. So Clifford Powell seems to own it every time I log in now. So I may not get no discount down here. 850,000. So it's going to be kind of tight to get that cash. If not, there are other sugar beet fields that we could buy, so we'll do something with the money. We'll buy it one way or the other. Oh, I didn't check on the store page. There is a potato harvester for... That's only a 5.4 meter wide one for a root crop harvester. And of course, now they have the Wilson trailer in sale. It's not the same one we bought. We bought the modded one that can hold like 40 or 50 pigs. This one holds like 36. So it's not that far off, but it would have been nice to save, you know, like 40 grand or so. All right, so it looks like we're all set to head on up to the wheat field and get started on that. So let me get the John Deere up there with a baler. Actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and you follow the combine. Yes, you're following the combine. Let's see how this works out. Let's get this 710. And you're going to follow the John Deere 6R. Although you are going to have a little trouble getting up to speed. I understand that. So I'll try to go as slow as the slowest person. Which, oh, wait a minute. I thought that John Deere's up. What are you following? Frank Jr. I thought you were following the combine. I must have done that wrong. All right, and we don't need the offset as well. Let me get this squared away here, and you can fall a little bit closer than 40 meters. So he must have been following the 710. My bad. Really should have the class Arion down here to move the header around, but I've been using the 710 a little bit more lately. Okay, so you can follow, follow the John Deere 6R, and you stay 25 meters behind. So it'll take a second for all the workers to get lined up. The good news is Francine is the one bringing up the back in the 710. And I trust her more than anything. I say I trust her. There she goes. Now she's moving along. Of course, I got to give that 710 a second to get actually up to speed. I kind of forgot how much horsepower that 710 has. Is it like 85 horsepower? All right, we got the convoy going. Let's get up to our wheat field now. The only thing I don't have up there is the Mack truck and the grain trailer, but we can grab that once we get a combine load. Now I'll get this up there, and then I'll grab the Mack truck and get the grain trailer up there. That way, we won't be holding up the process of harvesting our crops. Gotta remember, I own all this field to the left, so let's not drive into that. And also hope that none of my workers get stuck with the crossing traffic. Got to give Francine a second. She's hauling that header up a hill now. Can she get across the road? Once she's in the road, she should be fine. All right, let me get set up here over at the wheat field, and I'll see you up there. Alright, let's see. How am I going to set this up without actually trying to drive into other farmers' fields? I guess the I keep saying Mack Anthem. The Mack truck can go here. That's kind of out of the way for now. The hard part is, of course, going to be getting the header onto the combine without driving into someone else's field. Actually, if I were to move the Mack truck up a little bit further, I can drive the John Deere in the same general direction and possibly get the header on that way. Try to be polite, you know. Let me guess, I'm hitting the combine with a header. Of course I am. There we go. swing that around like that. And what I need to do is detach the header. So I still got the header trailer on the John Deere. So the only thing that needs to come off is the back part of the trailer, which you can't take off until the combine has the header attached. So we'll grab that and then detach that right there. Perfect. Unfold the header. Get sort of lined up here. Not the headlights. We don't need headlights on. Thank you. Let's turn that on. Turn the beacons off. Create a little bit of a swath here. Give us some room. How's the crop rotation, everything looking like here? Expected yield 141%. It's gonna be a good yield, darn good yield. Let's see, we can turn those beacons off. The first bale looks like it might be a grass bale. Which is fine. I could always maybe just feed it to the sheep or just wrap it on up. Nope. Want you follow the CR790. Yep. Is it actually a 790? Yeah, it is a 790. Okay. Okay, we should be all set there. Wait, I do got the lift. Yeah, the pickup is down. I was making sure the pickup was down on the baler. Or else they ain't gonna do nothing. That's a big swath right there you gotta pick up. But it's grabbing it. Like I said, the first bale might be a grass bale, but that's fine. I think I'm going to harvest this field in the 2 sections that it is, just to make our life a little bit easier. But it should be a pretty darn good yield. And of course we'll start making some flour out of it. Next month, or possibly later this month, will be the time that we should be selling our compost. So we should get about 550,000 from that. So that would get us up to like 700 grand just from that. So we're still a little shy on picking up some cash for the big sugar beet field. I could sell the straw that we have. And of course, we'll always have a little bit of extra money coming in from the wind turbines and the solar panels that we have. So I think we'll be able to afford it, even if I don't get the discount. It's going to be kind of tight. I can always sell some silage bales if I need to. Yes, that first bale that came out was a grass bale. So at least this field will not need to be plowed. This field actually shouldn't need anything. Actually, this should raise up our environmental score. Also, I don't think the score was the greatest in this field. Of course, I'm getting confused with all the series I'm running, what fields we're doing what. But another 141% yield. That is pretty darn good. Yeah, so all this wheat, I think, is going to go on down to the grain mill to be processed. And then maybe a little bit will be left up in our silo to feed the chickens. Alright, so since I'm here and the auger pipe is on the correct side, probably shouldn't leave my 710 parked in that hedgerow we got going on down here, because it blends in so well I'll probably forget it's even there. Alright, let's try not to get to the other farmer's field if I can help it. Am I not? That's not considered close enough? That's the only problem with a 60-foot header is you got to pretty much hug it to get the combine to empty out into it. Now, where's that? There it is. Where's the 710 is the name of the game. Let's just park it out here. That way it's in plain sight. Oh yeah, we should be able to get a little bit of money from the pigs. I can always sell, even if those pigs don't reach 1,200 tomorrow, you know, they're over $1,000 now, so tomorrow they should be worth maybe 1,100, possibly up. I don't know how fast they increase in money. But we get out of it what we get out of it. I know a few people have wanted that when we end the series to sell everything to see how much money we got. We're going to sell all the products that we have. But I'm not going to sell the farming equipment, the land, and all that, and then transport it to another series. I've done that once or twice, and I don't want to say it takes away the fun in it for me to start off with. I kind of like starting off with absolutely nothing if I can try. But if I were to sell everything here, we would have like millions and millions of dollars. And then we can just pretty much start off with anything that we kind of wanted, like I did on Hinterland, to where, you know, I'm buying everything. We're gonna have to pay off the money on Hinterland, but I pretty much got $10 million into that farm. I mean, it's nice. It is nice having the equipment right off the start with everything that you want. But I also find, to me, the enjoyment really in Farming Simulator for myself is to work your way towards getting the equipment that you want on the farm. But the whole point for me on Hinterland, though, is to try out Maize Plus and see if I want to use Maize Plus going on into the future on other farms that we try. And when this series ends, I'm not going to be starting another series. I'm not going to try to stay having 3 series going at once. Not to say that a map may not come out and it's like, I got to play in that map right now. But right now there are no plans to have a 3rd series going. It'll just be Hinterland and Cylindra. I still have a couple of ideas for other Let's Plays. I just don't have a map for it yet. I do have a couple of other maps I know they're in the works. And I'm just waiting for them to be where I can actually play on them. If the mod author gives me a pre-release, that's fine. We could go ahead and do that. Although sometimes playing on a pre-release map isn't the best idea. Because sometimes they'll go into testing. And then we'll find some issues with it, and sometimes a new save game will be required to continue. So I think they answered a few people's questions of what we're going to do after we leave East Vineland. Of course, I'm doing a lot of off-camera work on Hinterland, just trying to get those that map up and going. A lot of grass cutting. I've been doing a lot of grass cutting the last few days in Farming Simulator. Well, it doesn't look like a lot is put into here. I mean, it's not a full combine. It's like 20,000 liters. So when it gets done, we should have pretty close to 40,000 liters in here. Doesn't look like a whole bunch. And I want to get the first load on down to the grain mill so the process can be started to making some flour. So we get as much flour as we can when November comes. Sell it when the price is the best. Now I don't know, of course, once November comes, and of course December, January, and we're selling all of our stuff in the wintertime, I'm not sure what to do with the money. I mean, I could buy more land, but we won't be farming next year, technically. I guess I could buy some land just to say, well, this is where we ended up with. Of course, we still got to do a little bit of decorating around the farm. And we'll probably, I keep putting it off because I need the money for the big sugar beet field. But once we buy the field, whatever it may be, in the morning of October, I think that's when sugar beet harvesting begins. Then we'll save up the money to decorate around the farm. It's not going to cost us that much. I would like to have like $150,000, which we currently have. Light posts don't cost that much. I want to put down a few trees and maybe some gates as well. Fences and gates. Well, maybe not gates, but fences at least. So it may only cost us like $50,000 or $60,000 to get that done. But as for sheds and everything, I think we got everything that we need. Just a matter of just putting the final touches, the makeup on the farm, if you will. And overall, really, I know a few people, that's my field, let's not destroy too much crop. When I started using the 60-foot header, a lot of people said, yeah, don't use it, you're going to have a lot of problems with it. Just it seems to be very small spots. So overall, happy having the 60-foot header, reduces the amount of time for harvesting a field, reduces the amount of swaths. The straw, the baler with the straw doesn't have a problem. It's really much coming down to the grass, it seems like. You can see the straw swath, it's picking up like 98% of it. So once we get this field harvested this month, it's just a matter of, I don't think any of the fields are ready. Corn, soybean, and of course sugar beet. And I don't know what month it is to harvest soybean. And soybean will go right into the fuel refinery to be made into, of course, diesel, compost, and methane. One thing I have noticed is the methane in the fuel refinery, even though I got it on to produce energy, I got way more methane than it's going to be able to go through. So I might want to sell it or just keep it in there. I don't think I'll get enough money to transport methane. I hate to have to buy a trailer just to transport a little bit of methane to sell it. This trailer makes it look like we haven't got much grain yet, but that's 40,000 liters. Now, do I have a trailer that can transport methane? Does this trailer do... This trailer does methane. So I could probably just take the diesel tanker that we got and put methane into it and sell it if I wanted to. Do I have a place to sell methane? Let's see, if I go here, methane, yeah, the I'll Take It will take methane, and it says the max price is $449, but right now it's selling for $458, so I do have a place to sell if I want to. I can leave that trailer there. Trying my best to not be in other farmers' fields. Yeah, there was a mod I was looking forward to when it came out because by the description of the mod, I thought it was going to be what it was going to be, which is, I think the mod is called Real Destruction. real crop destruction mod or something like that. So I thought it was going to be if you like drive around the farmer's fields, you would destroy the crop and you have to pay for it. But it ends up being a mod for destroying stubble in your own fields. So like after your harvest, if you got like corn stalks, whatever, you drive in the field, it will destroy those stalks. Probably cotton stalks and maybe sorghum stalks as well. Although real or crop destruction on other farmers' field, that mod can be very brutal. I think someone told me that was in 17 that it was in. Could have been 19. I thought it was 19, but they said 17. But either way, I used that mod, and a couple of times I was just, you know how you get where you daydream, you start driving across another farmer's field, like, that's not my field. And I was driving through canola, and by the time I got to the other end, I had to pay $20,000 to the farmer because I destroyed his crops. This header is making some quick work of this wheat field over here. Now, if it's going to miss any crop, it might be right alongside the road, because my guess is there might be a couple of angles, but it looks like the road and the field are pretty much on the same level. And I've enjoyed the combine as well. Great modern combine. It has been kind of nice not doing any contracts this year. It kind of makes the year flow a little bit better. But that's not to say that doing the contracts that we were doing before, they helped out the farm a lot. Especially being able to get the straw off the fields. Made hundreds of thousands of dollars from that straw. And of course the grass fields making silage and a couple times hay. Paid off a lot also. Just turn around like this. Alright, so there is the first half of the field done. Actually, I'll just leave the engine running, not using that much diesel. Can I squeeze through here? Barely. Well, since I don't have a full trailer, we'll unload here and go up and start on the other field. Got to work our way around the silo now. I know when I get around that silo, the header's going to miss pieces, and I don't think it has to do with the header. I think it has to do with the placement of the silo. Because I remember doing contracts on this field for harvesting before with a smaller header, and it misses some spots just around the silo. Just have to go at a different angle. Why did you stop unloading? Did I get too far away from the trailer and you couldn't sense it? There we go. And with square bales, it's kind of nice. You can drive right over the bales with a header up and doesn't drag them anywhere. Hopefully I didn't screw up the John Deere worker by backing up a little bit, but it looks like he's all set. Let me see what this field is going to yield. All depends on the soil type. So 141% here also. So we got loam soil up here. I still don't know what the best soil is, but it's one of those things, you get what you get, right? It's not much you can do about it. The soil is the soil. Alright, let's keep on going until we get a full trailer to bring on down to the grain mill so we can start making some wheat flour. Well, there's a trouble spot right in front of the silo. I'm trying to remember which way I have to attack it to get it. I might be going head-on into it. At least I gave myself enough room to turn around here. I don't continue on that way towards the field because I think going up over the top of a knoll like that with this header may give me some issues. So I'll get that in a moment. I'm actually surprised. I forgot how hilly it was right here, but the header seems to be doing okay so far. And we still don't have a full trailer yet, but we're getting awfully close. Part of me wants to get it all in one go, but then the greedy part of me wants to have more than a trailer load. That just means more grain, the better. And right now, we're going to put these straw bales into storage, and if we need the money come October buying the big field, then yeah, we'll start selling what we need to sell. Actually, since we're going right past the truck, I might as well go ahead and unload it again. And that way I should be able to finish up the rest of the field into the combine. Of course, the trailer's got to be pretty darn close to being full. So this field here should not need, yeah, line is good. So we really don't have to do anything more to this field. So this will be the last time we work into it. Because technically it's all set to be planted in next year. When I go up this way and get right up to the silo, if I keep going right up to the fence gate, I think I'll harvest. I do want to double check the precision scoring on the field where it shows us the yield. I want to see if it shows us the current yield or is it the overall yield that we've gotten off the field. Do I need to reset it after every harvest to get that accurate reading? I never look too much into that chart per field. I just figure I get what I get. To me, it doesn't, you know, it is what it is. I guess some people may look at it as like if a field doesn't yield well enough, they would just go ahead and sell it. I guess if we got bad soil. Are you going to do a loop-de-loop? If you do a loop-de-loop, I don't know who's in that 6R John Deere right now. But if you do a loop-de-loop, you may get stuck on the fence. Yeah, so this is the issue I have with this silo over here. I know it's going to have an issue with it. And the follow me worker is doing yep, they're getting back on course. We're all set. Yeah, it's kind of a weird issue I'm also having on Hinterland with the Follow Me mod. I think it's the Follow Me mod and the Animal Food Overview for Base Plus. I think those are conflicting mods. Still working on that, even though I thought I had it resolved. I'll go into that more in this afternoon's Hinterland episode. Yeah, I should get the rest of the wheat into the combine. Question is, am I going to get it all into the trailer? So now if I attack that spot going this way with a harvest. Actually, it took it all, so I'm not going to complain about that. And And I'm going to have some straw swaths here. The worker can only do so much on corners. But that is our wheat field all done. I'll probably go back around later with the John Deere and pick up the swaths, because that could give me an extra bale or so. Oh, I got this little mess here. I used to be able to stop follow me. Just by hitting Shift F, but that doesn't do it. It says follower stop, but I don't see where the follower stop. Let's turn that off right there. Because it's about to get messy what I'm about to do. And I don't really need the worker to follow me for this little piece. I just knew I was going to have some issues around this silo. Not that big of a deal. Of course, now I know which way to go, but being the last harvest in the field, it's not going to matter now. So the question is, are we going to get it all in the trailer? I'm going to say no. And yeah, that pretty much answered my question. Maybe the rest of this wheat will go into the silo back at the farm. So let's see, that's 120,000 in the trailer. So that's 133,379. Yeah, so the yield is showing probably last year's sugar beet harvest along with us. I mean, I should have reset the values, but basically what this is giving us is, since we own the field, what the value of the field is actually bringing on in. And it's saying, you know, we made about $50,000 off it. I'm going to say we made more than that off of it. But I think Precision Farming is going to have a little bit of trouble trying to figure out what we made on it, because the sugar beet didn't go to a sell point. We brought it to be refined into other material. All right, let's turn on the beacons, because we do have 120,000 liters a week here. So, yeah, we are done pretty much for the month of August. I'll do some cleaning up around the farm. I got to pick up these bales over here. I'll bring those down to the bale barn. I'll pick up the rest of the straw, of course, as well. Bring all the equipment back to the farm. I got some equipment I just need to put away because it's starting to get messy around the farm again. So I'll do some cleaning up. And we'll get ready for... I'll have to look at the calendar. I think corn and sugar beet are going to be in October. And the soybean, I don't know when the soybean is. It might be soon. I know the farmers around where I live harvest the soybean in October, November. Mostly the farms where I live, they plant corn. So every couple of years they throw soybean into it, because as I mentioned before, soybean seems to be a pretty darn good crop to kind of help reset the field with nutrients. So break a little bit earlier because, yeah, we got all that weight back there. I do like this trailer. 120,000 liters. Of course, I know there's modded ones out there. I've had a couple modded ones back in the past, like in 17, that held like 500,000 liters, and which is great. Just that trying to haul that with a vehicle, the vehicle doesn't like it, but it's great to move that much grain at once. I can't stop in time. I'm glad you could. I can't remember. Can this hold 120,000 liters of material? Well, if it doesn't, it doesn't. And it should start unloading. There it goes. So let's go into our production buildings. Okay, amount of wood chips. I'll deactivate that. Oh yeah, it holds. It can hold up to over 500,000 liters. So wheat flour. Let's go ahead and activate that. And of course, we are storing some flour. Yeah, I had some barley in here from last year, so we're producing that into flour as well. So we're all set there. So yeah, we're making. The air is making electricity, and methane's making electricity. Soybean, we can make into all this material right here. So why that is on? Oh, that is unloaded. Okay, let's go to the calendar, and of course, soybean is here. So soybean, October, corn, October, sugar beet, October. So really, in September, I really don't have nothing to do. I mean, I could replant wheat and barley into the fields if I wanted to, but I usually like to do that in the springtime. So, yeah, next episode, we're probably getting right to October and selling some stuff. I should say I got nothing to do in September. In September, we do have, I should probably check on the price. The price right now is for the compost is $11.19, and the best price should be $12.64, and that should be in September. So in September, is probably when I'll see it next. We'll be selling maybe some pigs. We'll be selling the compost. And fingers crossed, our money will be up high enough to be able to buy that big sugar beet field. And maybe when I reload the game in, a different farm owner will own that land. Although it seems like I keep getting the same farm owner for that land, which usually it rotates. So I'm not trying to get it. Well, yeah, if we get a discount, we get a discount. I'm not trying to keep reloading the game, trying to see if I can get a farm owner that owns it that will give us a discount. But we'll see how my luck plays out. I will say my luck plays out rather well. How many times have I bought items in the store that I wanted to buy that come up for sale? It's been like 3 or 4 times in FS22 now. So kind of interesting. There's our lovely sugar beet field. So October is going to be a busy month. Probably get started right on harvesting the sugar beet. And so we can get that into the fuel refinery and start the process. All the corn, of course, we brought on down to the grain mill to be made into crack corn. And then, of course, the soybean, we'll get that harvested once we get some sugar beet into the refinery. So we can bring that over, and that can start being processed into all the wonderful material as well. So, yep, that's where we stand. Next episode, we'll be getting all the way to October. And that could be a couple episodes to get all the harvest done. We'll see how it goes. And after we get all the harvesting done, it's pretty much on to the winter. So, I'm just going to throw a number out here. Maybe 4 or 5 more episodes of East Vineland. Probably closer to 5. Something like that. And then, yeah, just to give you a heads up on that. But this yield's not going to be that great, although it's not bad. We're looking at, well, the soil right here is bad because that's only 72%. There's 90%. Yeah, the crop rotation for sugar beet in all of our fields was just terrible this year. So over here it could be a little bit better because this is a new field. The field that we're in was ours. And now we're over here, so the crop rotation over here looks good. It's up to 112% yield, so we get what we get out of it, right? Not much we can do about it. But anyways, that's going to do for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching. As always, I'll catch you again right here in East Vineland. But until then, have a good one.